No. That'll do, won't it? Brilliant. Brilliant. I'm going to send straight our next act straight on. Can we just practice our clapping first? Because, like, you're really good, but I think you could be better. So, like, I want this side to clap first. Yes! Yes, very good. Now you! And then you join in with them. Kaylin Ball! I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I'm very sorry. Kaylin Bowles couldn't be here tonight. So sorry. I just was told this in the wing. It's a personal hero of mine. Is going to be our second act tonight. It is the one and only Beck Mckinnon.
I will not stand for this. First things first, who here has heard of me, Beck Mckinnon? Why won't you see your son? He will when he asks politely. Who here has heard of Katie Malua? Katie Malua. Who here has heard of Rick Springfield? Good, I win. Good evening. My name is Beck Mckinnon, and tonight I'll be reading you an extract from my upcoming biography, Water Sported, A Lifeguard to the Stars. Biography of a guarder of life and lives. And if anybody doubts the authenticity of this cover image, then they are idiots and fools. This was written by me, as in Beck Mckinnon, no one else at all, the end. Apart from Philip Norman and Hunter Davis. And, contrary to popular rumours, anyone who thinks they can get away with mentioning the frankly disgusting rumours circling around the internet of me having a downstairs problem will be taken to the furthest court in the land. Now, chapter 9 of my book, A Rash Judgment. Could you pull a bit harder, please, Mr. Mckinnon? You'll want to talk, carrying that big old log around. Don't tell me what size it should or shouldn't be. All right, Michael, keep calm. Shouldn't let it be so big if you can't lift it. Eventually, I managed to drop Mr. Michael Caine's luggage down in his room and leave him be. Give me a ring when they start serving tea. I'm off for a little nap. Get stuff, Michael. You're a cheapskate and an idiot. £35, done. Here's a little context to proceedings. After the tragic dolphin show at the Minehead Butlins, and after ending 2 of the 7 lawsuits against me in their favour, I was at the low end and needed work. Fortunately, my old friend Brian Ferry had the good grace to call me up and offer me a job. Now, who here has heard of Brian Ferry? Yeah. All 4 of you. I suppose you're not good people. I mean, who here, like me, is in favour of bringing back the legality of hunting cows? Disgusting. But aside from being Britain's flagship fox hunter extraordinaire, Brian Ferry also has a keen fascination with boats. It was because of this that he had sought to purchase one of the big 3 ferry lines to the Isle of Wight in search of a new business opportunity. However, much to his dismay, P&O Ferries had established a dominance to those routes akin to something out of 50 Shades of Grey, and wouldn't budge. Not even at the promise of a specially designed fox-skin interior for P&O ambassador Vernon Kay. Utterly enraged, Brian vowed to drive them out of business and set up the awkwardly named Brian's Ferry, which caused much confusion and was shortly renamed Brian's Ferries. However, this soon he realised would have caused serious problems for his future empire, and finally decided to settle once and for all with Brian's Ferries services that we all know and love today. Brian was overjoyed, and I was once again employed, which may have led to some serious problems. Not with paying my ex-wife back, though, such as the route itself being ignored. I mean, who in their right mind would take a cruise from Herne Bay to Shanklin? I arrived at Herne Bay at 3:55 a.m. the morning before the maiden voyage, and already I could sense disaster. For one thing, the ship absolutely stunk of kipper. The rooms, the plates, the beds, the soaps, the water, the metal, the woodwork, the kettles, the cushions, and even the complimentary fish cuffs. And for any of you lucky enough to know what those are, good for you. Brian had been told that before he purchased the vessel, it's been used as a black site for the CIA in the murky swamps of the Isle of Sheppey. Brian's idea to cover up the stench of death was to coat everything with the smell of fish. When Naomi Harris, Chris Tarrant, and Bert Bacharach boarded ship, they all passed out. The only person who could cope was Kane himself, who was so used to eating nothing but jelly deals his entire life, which he credited with preserving his peculiar accent. Even to this day, I still cannot tell which part of Ireland he is from. Now, for the next section of my story, I'm required for tax purposes to declare this performance a variety performance. So the next chapter, I will sing. I finally dozed off and dreamt back to something from my childhood. It was me alone, aged about 6, making my first dips into water. I was alone and unsure what lay before me. Then things got weird. I could see a large indoor swimming pool, but for some reason there were many, many dogs. But when I swam over to them, they were all paper mache, and laughing hysterically at me and into me. Suddenly, a large digestive biscuit rolled up to the side of the pool and commanded all of the dogs to tear me to pieces. The paper mache dogs all started barking, turning towards me with blood-red eyes. However, in front of them was a large jelly deal, wearing spectacles and with fluffy hair. It started shaking me violently. Wake up, Beck. Bloody hell, wake up. Oh God, Michael, what on earth is it now? Roger Moore, he's gone mad. He spiked the water. Oh my God. And that's not all. He murdered Josh Widdicombe and tried to eat Martin Clunes. Thank the bloody hell Idris was there to throw him overboard. When he was flailing about in the water, he said that Brian had given these drugs to him before the voyage, ordering him to take them and cause carnage, or he'd set his dogs on Shirley Bassey. Now, if you ask me, that's a little bit cruel, that is. I was enraged. Brian was back on the old insurance pill again, after he murdered all 7 members of Roxy Music, and even Brian Eno. The Brian Eno you know with David Bowie is not Brian Eno. We left my room and made it to the top deck. I pulled Michael to the side. Michael, you're staying here. I'm going up there. Oh, sod that, Beck. I am never, ever getting on another bloody boat ever again. I don't care. I'm not doing it. They can have Christopher Nolan covered in Cornish pasty, and even that wouldn't be enough. Good luck, Beck. You're always like a son to me. I'd never met him before this voyage, but I left him as he jumped overboard into the water, and he swam away as fast as he could. I turned and began my descent to what's going to describe as a living and indeed dying hell. By this stage, the first fire had died down, but the stench of bodies was getting higher than ever. The second fire had consumed Jonathan Ross, and he was burnt beyond all recognition. I ventured through the smoke back to my cabin, and the gunshots had ceased temporarily as I stole a quick glance towards the far-off, brightly lit Eastbourne Pier. However, a section of the ceiling had collapsed in front of my door, and I could see the shoes of a crushed Tim Berners-Lee underneath. I had warned that dozy prick not to go out on a boat if he couldn't swim, but he never listens to anything anyone ever has to say. I would have to smash through the next cabin's wall. I kicked the neighbouring wall down. There was a couple in the bed. Ah, well, you chose a great time to interrupt us. This is worth it, Connery. But me and my friend here are just getting acquainted. I don't care what you do with those fish cuffs, Connery. Get out of my way. I kicked through the wall. I Sean went back to his vicious, violent, loud lovemaking. I grabbed my watch, sweatpants, and Savlon and voyaged back up to top deck. Eastbourne Pier was in sight, as were the lifeboats, but I could see Brian trying to get away. I cornered him with the Savlon. Listen here, Ferry, you don't know I'll be after you. There's no escape. But he gave a cruel smile and waved his hand, unleashing a strange fog that knocked me back for 6. And by the time the smoke had cleared, he was off on a jet ski, powering away. I could see the RNLI approaching. I sat down next to the sad, shaking figure of Ringo Starr. Where did it all go so wrong for me, Beck? He had had colds, so his accent wasn't quite up to his normal standards. But I gazed out to sea, gazing at Ferry, vowing a quick, violent and satisfying revenge. I had thought that when I first met Brian all those years ago in the Mecca ballrooms above Preston Village Hall, I thought that love was the drug, but now I would become a slave to vengeance. And for those of you who didn't get those Roxy music references, Beck Mckinnon does not apologise. Good night.
Beck Mckinnon, everyone! Give it up for Beck!